Where did that weekend go, huh? So I am back from TFNation. I am feeling mostly recovered. I nearly lost my voice twice over the course of the weekend. I took Monday to kind of chill out and just take it easy and recover a little bit. I'm feeling mostly like myself again. You might be able to tell my voice is a little bit rough. Can't hit falsetto notes, so no singing Tiny Tim for me. But man, I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling like I had a great weekend. I'm going to try and keep this as brief as I can. I know I waffle, so let's talk about what actually happened. I feel like I hit a really good sweet spot in terms of going where I wanted, buying what I wanted, and hanging out with the people that I wanted to hang out with. I didn't end up going to that many panels. I spent a lot of the time in the trader hall, as you might expect, but also with the kind of contingent of Crosshairs, TFNation people who were also there. Yeah, there was kind of no pressure to stick to particular people for the entire time. Everyone was kind of happy going off and doing what they wanted, and no one felt like they're kind of missing out on anything. We had a panel this year called Carnage in C minor, which was myself, Julia, J.N. and Dan Storm, who are all part of the Crosshairs team, came up to talk about the music of the Ascension verse. Very surprised how much we managed to get out of it. We showed off a couple clips of previous projects. Julia talked about making the Ascension theme. We played some never before heard early samples of that theme. Dan talked about the 𝙇𝙊𝙊𝙆 soundtrack. We went through the process of like how those are kind of like put together, like going from the pitch to the actual like, you know, the making of the music to the final versions. And then we showed off, we did a little challenge, which was I have footage of Shattered Glass, the next film we're making, sent it to the two of them with the same picture, like, okay, we've got different music styles, different takes, compose for this short sequence and let's kind of compare and see what you guys come up with. It was really fun. We had a great reception from the crowd. We looked as though we were probably at least 100 people in the audience, and they really enjoyed it. We talked for so long that we had no time for questions at the end. But again, very surprised how much we managed to talk about this very niche element of a very niche part of the community. So yeah, thank you to everyone who came along to that. Really appreciate that. I think as well the panel will be uploaded to the TFNation YouTube channel or an associated channel. There was a man with a camera, and they recorded everything last year, so I imagine it'll be the same case this year. And once that is up, I'll put a link somewhere for you guys to go and watch it. Speaking of Julia, this was her first TFNation since 2019, and the same for Dan actually. She had the privilege of being the Saturday evening entertainment. Julia did a music set called J.N. Sound and Fury, where she played a bunch of songs from obviously Transformers, but some original pieces as well. Some of the other projects that she had worked on. It was a great time. I really enjoyed being kind of like the hype man for that whole set. Just kind of like cheering as loud as I could, despite having nearly lost my voice, not being able to hit any high notes. It was great fun. Julia did amazing. We're all very, very proud of her. We decided that we would get her a little a gift after that set. So on the Sunday, a couple of us chipped in to buy a Legacy blaster, which she's absolutely delighted with. It had to be a music themed thing, of course. What else? I felt like I was a lot more outgoing this year, and I made much more of an effort to like seek out people that I wanted to talk to. So I got a picture with them, and they were all very, very lovely. A bunch of the usual faces, Ben, Wasp Shot, Thew, of course. There were quite a few people who I was, I was kind of aware of their work, but it's not until recent that I've started to kind of appreciate the stuff that they make. I've been listening to the Triple Takeover podcast. I finally got to meet the full team, so Sixo, Maz, and Liam. All really, really lovely. I managed to catch them briefly on the Saturday night and get a quick photo. So thank you very much, guys. Really great to meet you. Sam's Forge was there as well. He had his 3D printed animated scrapper and IDW whirl with him, so I got to see those in person and actually handle them. It's actually having them in hand, you really get to appreciate the level of engineering that goes into them. Lovely guy. Ran into him a couple times. I bought a Megatron, an Armada Megatron upgrade kit from him, and nearly lost it. Fortunately, I have recovered it. I ran into Paper Plane, Diamond Bolt, and that toy guy, which was really cool. Only had like the one interaction with them. I managed to spot them in the bar and come and say hi. Yeah, really nice to meet them in person too. It speaks to TFNation's notoriety within the worldwide Transformers community that we had so many people coming from overseas to be at the convention, and of course a whole bunch of you guys were there as well. Quite nice that I'm actually, you know, I'm recognizing like people who I've met in the previous years, who are fans of the stuff that we make, and it was very strange like how excited people got about meeting me, and also meeting some of the cast and crew as well who were with us. So thank you to everyone who came up and said hi and came to collect a postcard as well. So I'll quickly go over some of the guests that we got at the convention. So we had the usual comics crowd. We had James Roberts, Nick Roche, Jack Lawrence of IDW fame. I did get some stuff autographed from them. So Nick Roche and James Roberts signed my copy of the Wrecker Saga. I think I got a second signature from Nick Roche by accident. I did manage to get my hands on the collated issues of Last Spot Standing, and again, little signature from Nick Roche there. This is a great comic. If you can find a copy of this story anywhere, really is worth your time. Definitely recommend it. Jack Lawrence, I commissioned an art piece from. It unfortunately wasn't ready in time for the convention. Understandable, because he had a lot of commissions on his plate, and mine was a kind of full body, full color print. But I did get to see the line work for it, and it looks amazing, and I am really excited for what that's going to look like. Another comics guest that it was their first time doing TFNation was Steve White. So Steve White was the editor on Titan Comics Transformers magazines through the kind of mid-2000s, accompanying the first 3-4 live action films. Those comics were incredibly important to me because they were some of the first like comic media that I came across with Transformers. The first stuff I was like continually following and waiting for the next issue to come out. The actual like comic strips that were attached to those magazines provided the inspiration for Transformers Uprising, and you know, by extent more than BCI. So despite them being such a niche piece of Transformers fiction, they were kind of vital to me to becoming a Transformers fan. And so getting to meet one of the team responsible for that comic really meant a lot, and I generally got a little bit emotional meeting the guy. And then we had the cartoon and film guests. So we had Maycat, one of the writers on Earthspark, Cyberverse, and War for Cybertron Kingdom. Jeremy Levy, voice of Cyberverse Bumblebee, Jetfire, Whirl, and a bunch of other characters. David Sobolov from Rise of the Beasts, Battle Trap, Ape Link, and Susan Blue, voice of Generation RC. Doesn't really need much of an introduction. I managed to meet all of them apart from Susan Blue. Susan had a kind of Legends Pass thing where you pay a little extra and you kind of like guaranteed a little meet and greet with her and an autograph and stuff like that. I was happy to kind of chance it in the dealer hall. Didn't get the opportunity. I'm okay with that. I don't have a great connection to the G1 cartoon RC, but I'm glad that people had the chance to meet her if they really wanted to. David, Jeremy, and May were all really lovely. I got signatures from them on my Crosshairs Productions postcard. Should probably got made a bigger version of this. It's running out of space on the front, especially. I did also get some posters signed by David and Jeremy, but they're in here and I cannot be bothered to unfurl them. So here's a picture of those. Right, art, prints, miscellaneous things. Let's talk about those right now. First thing I want to talk about is the RRCO zine for 2023. This was put together by Ben, aka Wasp Shot 23. It's a little zine of, like last year, a bunch of us got together and talked about some of our favourite toys and characters in the old Dreamwave style of the G1 character profiles. I contributed a little thing to it, and this will be available if you didn't get the physical version. on their blog in September. So I wrote a little bit about Cliff Jumper here, and if you want to have a look at that, keep an eye out for the digital version coming soon. But this was great fun. I'm very sorry about all the awful puns that I wrote in that. I haven't had a chance to read through everyone's pieces in this, but I imagine it's going to be just the highest quality, and I'm really looking forward to seeing like why people picked the robots that they did. I picked up 2 beautiful watercolor prints from Chris Carter. I mean, you know who these are, right? I love them both, but the Megatron one I think is my favorite. I just love how he managed to get the kind of the energy glow inside the fusion cannon there. It's mwah, beautiful, beautiful work. Thank you, Chris. These were absolutely gorgeous. Again, some more stuff which is in this poster tube, but I'm not going to get out right now. Were 2 Earthspark prints by Nick Roche, who is a character designer on the show. I absolutely had to get the Autobot and Decepticon versions when they were revealed. I'm very glad he managed to get those done in time for TFNation. This ended up being one of the last things that I bought at the convention. Was this absolutely stunning piece by Ryan Button. He had a couple of character prints like this in this sort of the classic G1 grid like box art sort of thing, but this Optimus, you can never go wrong with Optimus Prime. But man, look at that, that's absolutely gorgeous. I managed to get all the characters that he had done these for as well in sticker form, so I now need to think about where those are going to go, because I've only got 1 of each, and this requires very careful, delicate thought. I did have 2 commissions for TFNation. Obviously, Jack Lawrence's one is still work in progress. Ed Peary did this absolutely stunning RC headshot for me. Look at her. Just look at her. I genuinely, when I picked this up, I had to like stop looking a couple times because the expression on her face started to make me just like choke up a little bit. She looks so sweet. This is the IDW All Hail Optimus design for RC. But I wanted her to have a slightly kind of more G1-y sort of expression on her face. I did also ask John Paul Bove to do a digital coloured version of this. So he scanned this at the convention. He'll be working on it for the next couple of weeks. So I'm really looking forward to seeing his colour interpretation of this piece. But wow, man, wow. It's beautiful, really, really beautiful. Oh, let's look at some robots, just so I can get them on my shelves. So Friday is the only day that the trailer hall isn't open, but you know, some people have started to purchase robots that arrive around that time and save them for the weekend, which is what I've done as well. I ended up with a lot more robots on the Friday than I was expecting, but these were some of the things that I did save myself. So I had bought the new Shatterglass 2-pack, so Rodimus and Sideswipe, and also Whisper down there. I've only got so many hands, all right? I was going to skip on this pack, but Ben took some absolutely delicious photos of Rodimus, and I couldn't pass it up, so I pre-ordered it and saved it for the TFN weekend. They both look really lovely. Rodimus, though, is the absolute star. He's very small. He's meant to be a Voyager. Whatever, but the colors on this guy, the amount of articulation he has, all the extra bits and like accessories that he comes with, the flip down visor in the helmet there. I am really annoyed at how much I like this figure because I've already filmed a good portion of his scenes with the old Power of the Primes figure for Shattered Glass, and I am very, very heavily considering refilming those so I can use this guy. I decided to save Legacy Evo Medics for the convention as well. If you own Crankcase, he's not any better, unfortunately. This might be the only disappointment of the weekend. He's very floppy. He doesn't want to hold together. He's just feels just a weak offering. Couple of robots from 360verse. He gave me a Tigatron. I've not transformed this yet. It's a very good looking figure. It is unfortunately showing some signs of yellowing, but I think that's true of pretty much every copy of this. I quite enjoyed Tigatron in the Beast Wars show. I can pair him up with Air Razor now. I'm sure they'll be very happy together. Two more bots that I pre-ordered off Matt. We got Rumble and Frenzy. Oh, I got it right that time. It says so on the side. And a surprise gift that he gave me before we even reached the hotel. Energon Cliff Jumper. This thing's huge. This is a ridiculous toy. I love playing with this. This was so much fun to tinker with on the Friday. Netflix Bumblebee from 𝙿, aka Speedster in the TARDIS. They found this at a small comic shop in Ireland for the equivalent of £17, I think it was like €20. I thought, God, why not? Why not? Probably the cheapest I'm going to see it on the aftermarket. Let's be Avenue. A couple of months ago, I was doing a bit of rejiggling on the shelf and taking apart my combinable Superion. And as I was doing so, Skydive's leg exploded. So here is a replacement courtesy of James Lenigan. Thank you, James. Saturday is the most exciting day because the trader hall opens up and you can start buying robots from the vendors, and buy them I did. It quite surprised me that I didn't buy as much as I thought I would on the Saturday. I did my usual trip around the whole hall, like checking out the deals and the price and stuff like that. Make sure I don't buy something too hastily before I see it for a better price elsewhere, which turned out to be a very good move because I managed to get Armada Optimus Prime for £85. This was the final Armada Optimus that Kapow Toys had at their stand. They put in a last minute surprise appearance at the convention. Other places were doing this guy for 90, 91, so save an extra £5. Cannot complain. This is a very impressive figure. I really appreciate the engineering that's gone into it. Is it my favorite? I don't think so. I am really enamored with the core robot. Super mode is just, it's not doing it for me. The proportions look just a bit too off. Like, he's a bit too blocky. It's not quite there, but this core robot is something else, man. It's amazing. Kapow also did a little deal for the first 101 customers who came to their stand would get a box of tat. And in my box of tat, I got a Masterpiece Megatron collectible coin, pewter Ultra Magnus mini statue. I've got the Optimus Primal version of this as well. They did also put an actual good figure in these boxes as well. It wasn't just this crap. So they also put in Power the Prime Cindersaur. I was really delighted to see this. I sold mine a couple of years ago, and to get this back as a little freebie was really delightful. I'm very happy with that. Brilliant. Now, I mentioned the Triple Takeover podcast earlier. One of the first episodes that I listened to while I was going through the back catalogue was talking about alternators, and that enabled me. So here is Alternators Shock Blast. I got this from In Demand in their pre-owned for 20 quid. Marvellous. Beautiful thing. Took me a little while to get my head around him, get him all nice and secure. This is just a majestic looking thing. I adore this so much. I did also have my eyes on a Kiss Players Rodimus, but I think it was snapped up before I could get a chance to find it. But this was on my wish list, as was Armada Prime. I'm happy with that. I didn't find a Wrecker's Bulkhead, but I did manage to get a trifecta of my wish list. So Transmetal Rat Trap was another find. The chrome is in excellent condition. The only place that there's a little bit wear is on the tail there. I think this guy was £25. But yeah, marvellous. I love Rat Trap. This is great. Brilliant stuff. A cheeky little deal that I managed to get on the Saturday as well was ARM's Micron Swerve. This was from Mike at 𝙍 Toys, who he does a lot of his own kind of bespoke 3D printed upgrades and stuff, but he also sells a lot of the non-F upgrades within the UK. This guy, he sold to me for 45 because that was all that I had left in my wallet for the day. Speaking of 𝙍, I did pick up a little upgrade kit for the Humble Origins Orion packs. Gives him a mouth plate, some smokestacks, and 2 arm blasters. And it really looks really, really nice. I'm very happy with that. Thank you, Mike. And we wrapped up the day with 2 little mini-cons. We got Universe, Makeshift, and Flatfoot. Lovely stuff. And then we come to Sunday. At this point, I've got the 3 things that I really wanted from the convention. So Sunday is going to be a bit of what's going to surprise me? What am I going to find? What deals can I get? One of my first pickups of the day was this. This is Transformers Go Hunter Ratchet. Obviously a repaint of the Beast Hunters Ratchet in the more kind of movie colours, and the fiction is that he's captured by the Decepticons, given lots of drugs and turned into a baddie. £15 from Toy Fu. Hasn't got his weapons. I don't care. This is a gorgeous thing. Absolute bargain. and it helps charity as well. This was on my want list, but it wasn't a like wish listing for TFN, but I happened to find a really good deal for him. This is Armada Predacon. This is a repaint of the Transmetal Megatron. He doesn't have his mini-cons, but I don't care because this was £25. It normally goes on the aftermarket for between kind of 60 to 80 quid. He's complete otherwise, got all the bits for like the main robot, and I am incredibly happy with this. They did actually have some Transmetal Megatrons in the haul. There was at least one Hasbro version, and Toyfu did have the Takara version as well, which is less susceptible to GPS. It was £75. It wasn't a bad deal, but I want the chrome to be as nice as possible. It did have some quite big marks on there. I kind of resigned myself in my brain. It's like, I'm never going to get my hands on a Transmetal Megatron. I'm kind of happy that I did because I really like this thing. Cybertron Clocker was another pickup from Toyfu. I think this was £10. I do have the movie repaint in the duller, grayer colours. This is an absolutely gorgeous colour scheme with a bright orange and baby blue. So much better. I headed back over to Kapow in the dying hour of the trader hall being opened and picked up 2 Auto Troopers. They had split the army builder pack into the individual components, and they had a little bucket which had 3 of these in there, and I think there was a Seeker too. They were doing these £20 a pop. This is the only thing I wanted from that army builder set. I bought one, went to a panel, decided that I needed to get another, and headed straight back for seconds. These are great looking things. I'm very pleased as well that the head swaps are really easy to do. You can see at the back there, it just slides off that little sort of mushroom peg quite easily. Managed to find my way back near the stand where I bought the Predacon and spotted this. This is the Dark of the Moon Voyager Starscream. This doesn't have like any special name on it, but I spotted this just in one of the buckets on the floor. He was £14. The people at the stall recognised me, having bought from them at least like twice before, and I haggled him down to 10. Amazing. It's a fantastic mould. It's a very clean looking jet format. Unfortunately, my original is really showing signs of wear and tear, so to get a nice fresh one in a really slick colour scheme like this, I couldn't pass up on it. Matt at the 360verse did me an absolute solid and spotted this guy at Barry Shaw's stand. This is Minicon Overcharge, who turns into a taxi, and I appreciate that pun so much that I could not pass up on this. Yes. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Barry. I am delighted to have this awful Transformer in my collection. Very nearly at the end, headed back to Mike's stand, had a £5 left in my pocket, and snagged the world's smallest Optimus Prime. It transforms exactly like the Generation 1 figure. It's a really lovely little thing. Mike did me an absolute solid selling me this guy for the price that he did. It is just so easy and so fun to transform between the 2 modes. He says, failing to transform it easily. But it is functionally just a scaled down version of the G1 toy, and it looks great. And that was my last purchase in the dealer hall. But do you really think that would stop me getting new robots? After the closing ceremony, headed back to the bar, we're comparing all of our bots. I bumped into Spiderfather on Twitter, and he was giving away little mini freebies. So I got these 2. This is my first ever figure from the Fight Super Robot Lifeform Transformers line. This is Minicon Iron Lunge, and of course a little bit of rep from the old sensei Pete Spellos. Tiny Titans Skybite. Oh Jesus, I really need to stretch ow. Oh, I'm gonna stretch my legs. Ow, ow, ow. And there we have it. That turned out to be my biggest haul of all of the TF Nations. 24 figures total. Bought because I wanted them or because they elicited some kind of reaction from me. And now I gotta figure out where they're all gonna go. So I'm gonna wrap this up. Big thanks again to everyone who came and said hello and gave me their time. Chat for a little while. I really appreciated seeing so many of you. This has got to be the most people who've approached us to say hi or get a postcard or anything like that. And we all really appreciated the interactions that we had. Big thanks and a massive congratulations to the TFN crew for another fantastic convention. Amazing to see like the attendance that this got. And on that note, a massive congratulations as well to Toyfu, who managed to make £50,000 from their stall, which is a mad number. I remember absolutely losing my mind. I think it was the last year, or it might have been 2019, when they announced their total then, and this is just absolutely just blown that out of the water. So I think about 23,000 of that is going to the Mary's Meals charity, who do incredible work in poorer countries. So yeah, congratulations to Nick and the whole team for just an astounding number. Lastly, I want to give a big thank you and send lots of love to the whole crew that I was hanging with for the weekend. So Matt, Dan, Julia, Joe, George, Keej, James, John, Ellie as well. It meant so much to have you guys there sharing this weekend with me, and to be able to just like find any of you at any point. It's like, hey, look at this cool new robot that I got. Isn't it amazing? Well, maybe not this one. But thank you all so much. I love and appreciate you immensely, and I hope that we can do this again next year. Although, fair warning, I think next year might be a little bit different in one way or another, because I'm going to university.